So, because once again I'm running behind on making a video today. It is now 6 o'clock and I've got to do something. But I promised that I'd break down Tuesday's video. So, I'm waiting for it to download. But I thought I'd kind of do this one outside on a hammock. I've got like an hour before I lose, well, less than that. Like I barely have any time before I lose good light. But yeah, so I wanted to record this out. If I continue to look at this, I'm gonna have a double chin. So we're gonna have to sit up, buddy. So just a bit of a recap of what I've done this week and why everything keeps coming behind. I started Saturday shooting an event. I've had an event almost every day since Saturday. And I attempted to film. I thought I was gonna have Friday booked as well, so that's why I wasn't able to film on Friday. Then some stuff changed, that didn't happen. But I've shot a downtown event. I've shot 2 state events, or 2 state-related things. And yeah, like today specifically, I started my morning off with a little coffee date, and then which I think went well. We'll see about that. And then I had a shoot again, and the shoot wrapped at 5. So I'm now back home trying to make a video. But I wanted to do this quick kind of, I think it's GQ, but there's like a company that does these like directors breaking down their shot sort of thing. So I thought I'd do some of that. Just for fun, just to test out this thing. We're halfway done downloading right now, so that's what I'm waiting on. I forgot to turn this microphone on. We'll see how that works. And I forgot to start this screen recording, so this will be fun. This is not going as perfectly as planned. That's okay. All right. Stay up there, you bitch. My original concept for this video was definitely not what it turned out to be. I think I originally had the 18-second intro. That was sort of always the plan, like that overly dramatic sort of intro thing. Just a sync sound. Hopefully this is working. God, I'm gonna have to sync 3 different things, so I'm worried about it. So that was always from the beginning. The whole David Lynch trippy mindscape really didn't fully come together until I was in the editor. I always had the plan of the concussion sequence. The original thought was, I'm looking for my idea for today's video because I didn't have one. And so I'm lost in the woods, aka my mind, running around looking for a video, going in circles. And then I finally make it out and come up with something, but I stumble my way into it, which is kind of why I stumble away at the end. It was a large metaphor, but it was supposed to be more goofy and less liminal. But it just became what it was through me goofing around with the sound design and the edit. But what's ironic is a lot of the cool things that kind of worked out with it. So just for instance, this wide shot here, big thing in the original shot, when I land, I kind of started off here and fell, and I knew I had to commit to the fall or it wouldn't work, but that was straight pavement and I did not want to just land on the pavement. I actually think I broke my toe, I did something to my toe. I can't bend it down anymore from that initial land. But even though I tried to commit to it, it still didn't look good. So I just had to cut to the impact because I caught myself with my arms and then threw them out. I am definitely not a stunt. There's a really cool bird. Ooh, I don't know what bird that is, but that is pretty. It might be a robin. I might just be overhyping a robin. So I need to cut it out. So the original fall actually looks pretty terrible, and that's kind of why it looks odd in the edit, because I just had to cut these frames out. But even hitting it, I hit hard enough on the ground. So props to stuntmen for doing that. But what's cool is we have this kind of circular path that goes around this park area. And it ended up being its own sort of metaphor within the video. Oh, my monitor fell again. What's your problem? Fine, you can go on my leg. Definitely hurt myself for real on that one with the fall. And there were people just like off screen here watching me do that, and I overhyped the Robin. That was unfortunate. And their reactions were pretty funny because I had to lay on the ground for like 30 minutes just to give myself the time in the edit to make that work. So this shot here was actually originally flipped. So, I went into the editor and like vertically flipped it. Because when I was shooting it, I wanted to stay on the shadow side, but the shadow side was actually opposite of how I'd been originally filming it. So like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the 180-degree rule, which you kind of want to keep the camera on the same plane for just consistency for the viewer. Like you can flip that if, like there are directors who flip that, you just kind of have to guide that flip. But so I had broken it unofficially and just wanted to maintain it. So I actually flipped the horizon of I flipped the shot to make it look better and to still put the shadow side on the closest to the camera. So that, yeah, my face looks really weird flipped. I didn't expect that at all. And then I did there's a little eye glint that happens. And what's funny is I had designed that little poop running animation that went over the eyes. And I did that years ago when I first restarted doing sort of my vlog series, and I thought I lost it, and then I found all my animations on Procreate. So I was like, thank God, and Procreate's a great app to do that. You can just literally draw frame by frame and record it, and then export it as like an HEVC or like MP4, or just like a raw animation, whatever. That bird is loud. Where is he? He's a cardinal somewhere. So yeah, that was really cool. But that whole shot was flipped. Let's see. Once again, back with kind of one of those little pop animations that I made years ago. The funny thing about this crystal shot is this took way too many shots for me to get right. Because the monitor control app is nice, but it has like a weird, like, it can be interfered with very easily. I guess that's just strength of Bluetooth. But I couldn't tell where I was in frame because something was like blocking the monitor control app. So I had to like lean on the FX3 and like swing it forward multiple times to get sort of what I was looking for. And I ended up getting it, but it was just hilarious how long it took to get to that point. So this hat shot, once again, sort of an issue with the monitor and control app. I had it just not working. And so I have my phone on my knee and I'm trying to like glance down and keep my head up and run my fingers behind my head in a really weird way. I'm glad I eventually got it, but the amount of confusion of just like standing in front of the camera and trying to figure that out, it was cracking me up. I wish I had somebody like filming me trying to do that. So it was good fun trying to get that shot. And we get to kind of our first like official VFX shot. I guess those little pop animations are technically like a composite shot. Also, the way I composited them, I exported them on a black background, and then I just went into Premiere and changed the blending mode to screen, I think, and so it pops the black background away and then puts that on there. Everything I do is like very basic compositing. Oh, this guy has a worm in his face. Oh, I scared him. Sorry. I'm not gonna get you. He's poor bluebird trying to get into his nest. But so then we get to this sort of paper animation. It's one of my favorite things to do. Dan Mace does it all the time. He does it well. He does his own, I think, top down and then records it, which I have the capability to do. I didn't have the time to do it on this one, so I found a asset on Artlist, and then Artlist makes these assets for Premiere where they basically have a built-out kind of nested project, and you can go in and edit the individual parameters. It's a bit annoying, but it is also kind of fun once you figure it out and you can make it work. So I did that for this one, and then I liked the blue. I changed sort of the text to make it match, obviously, my text mood. I actually had a branding kind of advisor come in and sort of pick a text that fit my style, and I like it a lot. It's called Gallica, Gallica text. It's really good, so I use that on all of my stuff. And I think it's free if you go to Adobe Fonts. Like, you can find it on there. Originally, I had sort of like a kind of pencil like dash that was going to go over the 025 on the blog, and I ended up scrapping that because I couldn't find a good like sort of sound effect. But then I was like, oh, just like tape paper over it, and so it removes the fact that it's a blog today. And yeah, so that's what I went with, was this sort of torn paper look. So then we get into the liminal space, and I'm very proud of this effect. So these little RGB distortion fields on the side here were way easier than I thought, but I ended up having to do them completely myself. So it's a mixture of, basically I used 2 adjustment layers. One I used, Premiere now has an RGB split effect, and you can kind of set the parameters and even set like a vignette and a vertigo setting, like you can play around in it. And so I kind of got roughly what I wanted there, but then I wanted on the sides this like kind of swirling building throughout the video. And I should have tried to make this more prominent. It's there, it's very subtle, like you can barely see it unless you speed the footage up. But I just used turbulent displacement, and it took me a minute longer than it should have, because Premiere changed their masking tools, which they're way better. I'm good with this change, but I had to figure out where all the new stuff was. But I basically just made a circular mask and then inverted it and then put turbulent displacement and feathered it so that the edges would kind of slowly just like undulate in the middle, and then it would just create this like, it looks like an eyeball almost, and you're kind of looking into my mind's eye throughout the shot. And so that's where this sort of effect came from. It also is very reminiscent, or I was leaning into whatever that movie was with Tom Holland, where all his thoughts kind of like came out of his brain, and so I liked that a lot. Also, this shot here, I was so worried about like laying in the dirt, which was, it's odd for me to be worried about something like that, because I tend to be fine being out in nature. It was just hilarious that this one bothered me for some reason. So you can see, like in the beginning, I was like, yeah, dang. And then we get to the snorri cam shots. I basically took the tripod, extended all 3 legs, tucked the long middle leg under in between my legs, and then put the other 2 like hoisted here and stuck the camera at an angle and just ran around with it. I mean, this is like the Breaking Bad shot, the whatever. I call it a snorri cam. I don't know if that's the true term for it, but loved how it turned out, and just spinning around the trees and the camera being locked onto me. It turned out phenomenal, and so I was very, very, very happy about that. Another thing that I just noticed too, I started using, I think I finally am figuring out exposure. I am not really great at a lot of things, and this was one of them. But I have this color checker thing that it has a white and a gray card, and I finally now understand like what those 2 are for. And so basically the tip is, if you use false color on your camera and you expose your IRE settings to middle gray, which is most of the time, loud truck. The loud truck. If you expose your IRE on your false color to green, that is middle gray. Now that's not consistent all the way, but you kind of get into that range. And so you want middle gray, because middle gray is what you really want your skin tones to be at. So it doesn't matter if your sky is super blown out. If your skin tones look good, the shot will most likely be a lot better. And so that's what I was able to manage. And then once I figured that out, I was like, oh my gosh, this all makes so much more sense now. And when I would throw LUTs on it, because I am not a colorist either, I'm sorry, and I'm sure a colorist would look at me like that is terrible. It worked for me. I was very satisfied with it. But this was a Gerald Undone's basic correction LUT. I think it was for the FX3. And then just to get the colors accurate, and then I put a creative LUT by Triumph Films from like 2013 on top of it, and Bob's your uncle. Also, every time I put myself on the snorri shot, I would just do something random and like spin around. And this was all filmed within like a 12-foot radius. Like I did not go far because I was so worried about people like stealing my stuff. So pretty much like this shot here, like this whole area was just reused like 40 different times in the making of this, and you really can't tell because it all looks the same. But this shot here was even like the phone shot that I had. When I was setting this up, I was looking at my monitor control like this, and then I was like, oh, that's really pretty. And so I just like got close to the camera, faked like I was typing for a second. I was like, I don't know if I'll use this or not. And then went about getting ready for this shot here. And this shot here was more complicated than I think it looks, and I feel like I kind of wasted the effect on it. But basically, I wanted to have it pull focus to the other version of me in the back and then pull focus back. I got the first focus rack correctly, and all I was doing was like talking, and I would tap. Like, I knew my head was here, so I'd tap on this side and pray that it worked and then try to tap back on my face. I missed my face multiple times. That's why the rack back didn't ever work. I just had to cut it. But I think for what just having to run that on my own, I achieved it pretty well. And the masking wasn't terrible. I kept trying to line myself up on either side of the tree and use the tree as a center mask, and then every time I did the takes, I would overlap that tree. So I screwed myself over on that mask, but that's all right. Yeah, the tree line was supposed to be here, and you can see like I just botched that a million different times. So this shot here, when I'm banging my head on the wood, I tried to hit this part of my hat, and I hit this part of my head, and it hurt really badly. I only could do it for that long. Like, that is a genuine look of pain when I'm like smacking my head on the log right there. This shot, I just wanted to, I'm sure y'all got this reference, but that's an old Jack Sparrow shot. Anyway, that was definitely, I wanted to do a very Jack Sparrow-esque figure. My buddy Jackson got it instantly, so thank you, Jackson, for picking up on that. This was supposed to be part of that more like funny stuff, because that was what I was trying to go for, was like Jack Sparrow when he's in Davy Jones' locker or whatever. But I don't know. I genuinely, as I started editing with the sounds, it just became this David Lynch sort of slow-paced weird thing. So it was fun, but all the sound effects, by the way, were from Artlist and Soundly, which, if you haven't heard of Soundly, that is a phenomenal tool. You can literally open it up, like listen to a clip, drag it, and pull it right into Premiere, and it worked. It is so nice. So look at Soundly. I pay $40 a month for it, I think, to unlock all the effects, and it is so good. That paired with Artlist, there's not really much more I need on the like stock assets sort of thing. So this top-down drone shot that I had, this was not my original idea. I wanted to have like my camera hung in a tree, and there was actually a shot that I did where I hung in a tree, but it was too low. I wasn't comfortable enough dangling my rig in a high space from a tree. Even the shot I did with it was a little like iffy, so we didn't end up using it, but the drone shot worked well. This one I actually flipped too. I actually walked this direction, so I flipped it and made it look like I was walking this direction. What's interesting, I had a buddy of mine ask me about the pull-up sort of shot. There are far better people that do that than me, and you can see here I lucked out with the fact that I did that sort of RGB vignette on the end because it could hide what I was looking for. But if you see here, there's some artifacting. This is my frame of the original video, roughly. And all I did was like keyframe it size down and then have a second copy of the footage underneath it just blurred out. And then I tried my best to match the blur frame to frame. And I think this was only like 2 frames from like boop, boop. And then with the drone shot that I zoomed up to, I just was pushed in on it and then went boop, boop, back out of it too. in 2 frames, if that makes sense. So it was like a 4-frame trick that just kind of happened. So this drone shot I was very proud of, and I'm kind of, this is the only one that I hated having the vignette on because it just ruined a lot of the expansiveness of this drone shot and really sucked it in on this one tree, which I guess I don't really hate, but it, like, that was not necessarily the most significant tree. Like, I didn't really need, I mean, it looks cool, it's a great shot, but I was like, okay, because I'm technically like way over here. Actually, I don't even think I'm in this frame. And my original plan was to just fly the drone from me out and then just like kind of stitch that together. But where I was standing and where I, like, once I pulled the drone all the way out, you could see the bridge and people and like all this stuff, and I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted it to look like this endless, vast, like, island, basically. So I just turned the drone, I flew it farther over the river than I was comfortable with, turned the drone and just backed it up and flew it. And also the wind was so bad that day that the drone was just in the air going like this. I was watching it in the distance, I was like, ooh. And I have a Mini 4 Pro, that thing weighs nothing. Like, I could just see it going right into the water. But I loved how this shot turned out. And you can see Pinnacle, our one mountain here in Arkansas over here in the distance. And this, once again, is Two Rivers. Yeah, I love that place. I film everything there. It's also in a Class G airspace, so I'm not having to worry about if I fly, like if I stay under 400 feet, I'm in the clear because I have my residential license, not my commercial one. And so yeah, it's a great place to test fly, to practice things, and it's a lot of fun. And if there are limitations on it, I promise I've been looking, and so I apologize, and I'll stop flying there if I'm not supposed to, but please don't come at me. I have looked up, and I have seen no restrictions. And as we get out of the wilderness and into the woods, we get to what I am now referring to mentally as like the Frodo shot. I look so bad in this shot, but what I did like, and honestly why I ended up keeping it, is I liked the color of my eyes in it. And I mean, and then the wind did me a favor of just like billowing out my hair there. And it just looks very cinematic. I did like the shot, so excusing the dirt on my face, the chapped lips, the everything else that was wrong with it, I very much like how this shot turned out, and so I kept it and just let it roll. And I don't know, my acting for this was very off the cuff. I was like, I think I need to act happy that I've just seen a road, because the road is kind of me coming back to my consciousness because I passed out on the road, so I'm coming back out of the woods into reality. And so yeah, that's what that was apparently. And then so almost every shot this day was very like, oh, maybe this will do this and we'll do this and we'll have this, or like I'm just goofing around now, we're just making shots for fun. But this one I was like, oh, let's touch the road, we're like reaching out for it. And then I just did that and I was like, oh well, we can intercut, like glitch this with my face. So I flipped around and laid on the ground in that same direction. It just happened to match really well. And then I got lucky that I didn't mess up my 180-degree rule and flip the camera on the wrong side. And so, yeah, I just put myself in this space right after recording a hand drag, and that was that. Yeah, and the hand was right here. What's hilarious is the lighting changed so drastically. Like, this became a hot spot in 2 seconds because the sun came out. I also lucked out that day with a very overcast day, but even the harsh sun, I do like how it showed up in some shots. One other thing I wanted to break down for a buddy of mine. So the phone shot, yeah, that was a really neat sort of template that I found on Artlist. I just looked up text message bubbles and it gave me this. When the template kind of starts, it has like text, and then a voice memo, but it's another sort of Premiere Pro nested project that somebody made. And so you can go in and adjust the shapes, and their animation is fluid. I could not have done that on my own. And it really worked. And I loved the hand. That was one of those, like, I said it earlier, I just saw like myself looking, I was like, oh, that's pretty, and I just grabbed the shot really fast. And yeah, the colors in this shot look great, and the vignette looks good. I like how the RGB pulls at the end of the phone. But yeah, if you guys want like a more detailed breakdown on kind of the VFX that I did inside of it, I could show sort of the project file in another video. But it really was very simple. It was adjustment layers and effects that I just kind of stacked on themselves, and then just some basic compositing, and then templates, Artlist templates. Artlist and Motion Array, I feel like those are the best places for templates right now. Anything else? Camera that I used FX3, and then I used the Polar Pro 2:5 ND by Peter McKinnon. It's the ND plus CPL filter. So that probably, there were a couple shots where like reflections were able to be cut out. It's the mag lock system, which is nice, but the CP ring on it is so tight, like it's very difficult to work with. So I've kind of forgotten if it's on or not. It probably is on, because I'm looking at some of these shots, like it probably was on the whole time. But either way, yeah. And then I just had the Sonotronics STG1, I think, pencil condenser mic as my microphone, getting like sort of the raw ambience. And then lots of sound effects. All the sound effects were from Artlist. Sound effects music from Artlist, and then Soundly. I had other like the whooshes and the transitions and the weird like blah, 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 blah sort of sound effects. Those were from Soundly on their cloud service, or not, per subscription, their service. I was recording, the lens I used was the 16-35 GM2. Definitely ISO was at 800 the whole time, and probably a 2.8 aperture, I think, because yeah, I left the aperture at 2.8, the ISO at 800, and then the shutter speed at 50. Recorded an S-Log, and then like I said, I used Gerald Undun's FX3 correction LUT to get the colors to normal, and then I put a creative LUT on top of it, and I think I used that LUT at like 50%. And the LUT I used was Drive, and it was a Triune Films LUT that I don't know if they sell anymore, but I do love that LUT package. And that was pretty much it. It was a very improvised concept that came out, and yeah. So I thank you guys so much for watching and enjoying my little hammock talk. Yeah, oh, that's what, I had, the reason that all these videos have been so sporadic, I had to take down all of my setup. So I have been without that setup for 4 or 5 days now, so that's why it's been weird, and I just decided to do it outside in a hammock, and God, the lighting changed so badly. See you guys on Tuesday, and thank you again for watching all these videos, and yeah, you guys have a good rest of your night. You didn't think I forgot, did you? Peace.